Here they are, hanging out with me as usual. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is just going to be a quick little video. I'm helping out a friend with his brake pads. Got an '08 Kia Rio behind me, and we're just going to do some pads and rotors real quick. Not going to need much. Got the 21 mil for the lug nuts, 13 mil for the caliper bolts here, the guide bolts, not the main mounting bolts for the bracket. I don't think we're gonna try not to take the bracket off. A clamp for squeezing the piston back in, and then you want to pop this so it can vent as you squeeze them in. So I got this one loose already, just got to pop the other one loose and then we'll peel it back. Go in. Ooh. Okay, so I'm a dummy. Of course I got to take off the bracket if I'm going to get the rotor off. So, one other tool you're going to need is, I'm guessing that's an 18. We'll see. It's a 17 actually. Well, that's cool. Okay, so check that out. Try not to use a ratchet because it'll get stuck behind that other bolt there. Or don't go too far with a ratchet. Now I gotta screw back in, get my ratchet out. It's ridiculous. How did I even get it in there? It's crazy. Okay, so I think most new rotors, if they're not covered in some sort of coating, they're going to be covered in oil. In which case you must have brake clean. That keeps them from rusting while they sit on the shelf. You see that sliminess in there. Yeah, that's pretty gross. You can see all that stuff. That's all going to come off. Or you'll glaze your pads over. So the best way to make this stuff last is to spray it on a rag, and it stays absorbed in the rag longer than it'll stay on the part. Okay, so a lot of people might be wondering about these screw holes. If you can get yours out, if you want to reuse them, awesome, fine, reuse them. There's no harm in that. If you've noticed yours are already gone and you want to get more, don't worry about it. They're not necessary. I get a lot of people coming in the store asking for these, but my understanding is that they're just there for the assembly line when they first put the car together, and they just want the rotors to stay in place at some point in the process. They don't want them falling off as it goes on to the next whatever. Now hopefully you went out and you got yourself a decent set of pads that included new hardware. It's always a good idea because these are super thin, and if have any grooves worn in them, they can prevent your new pads from sliding around properly. So what I do is usually I have gloves on, because I'll just pour this whole thing into the palm of my hand and just coat all of these at once. Just like a big mess, you know. I'll just coat them all like that, and then install them into the bracket, put everything together. You also need to check these pins, make sure they're in good shape. They still feel really slimy, and they're really smooth when you pull them in and out. No metal or rough scraping. So if you get any problems in there, any kind of scraping or roughness at all, you want to clean that out. That's really important that stays nice and smooth for your calipers to release right and apply right too. So shims are in, and I lay my brake pads down like that on purpose so I know which side the pad with that little arm went on and which direction it went up. But you got that little arm there, so that goes on the inside facing up. And then so yeah, let's put these pads in now. Oh, so that's the wrong pad. There we go. I forgot we got to press in the caliper piston. So I'll use an old pad. Open this guy up. I know you should probably use a C-clamp, but this is what I got. And it's a lot harder with this tool. Oh, this one's going right in. Okay. Man. This was hard as shit to do on a Subaru. I could not do it. I mean, I did it. But it took all my strength. 2 hands. I was like, and it took forever, too. Oh, yeah, there it goes. I think I might have had the arm of that other pad in the way. And these things have flat spots. You want to make sure those are indexed properly. Throw these bolts back in. Did I get lucky? First try? All right. Oh, look at that. Someone pressed it on and folded that over. Interesting. See, gotta pay attention. Gotta pay attention. Oh, no, it's not a 17. It's a 14. And throw the tire back on, and this side's done. And I'll wrap up the other side pretty fast without the camera. Because it's pretty simple. But as long as you take your time and you replace the parts that you should replace. And you use some lube, brake jobs are usually pretty easy. After this, there's some pretty important steps, which I'm not really going to take you through either, but it's bedding the brakes and rotors together. You want to drive around and get them warmed up normally, just some easy braking. If you go and try to bed them right away on a cold rotor, you could end up warping them. So drive around the block and just do some light braking, and I don't know, until you think they're warmed up, and then just do 20 miles an hour. Once they're warmed up, you go 20 miles an hour and you hit the brakes pretty hard until you come almost to a complete stop. You don't want to come to a complete stop, because then the pads could stick to that spot and leave like residue, like ink blots or something, So almost a complete stop. 20, 40 miles an hour, go right back up to 40, do it again, almost a complete stop, right back up to 60 miles an hour, come almost to a complete stop. By then you should start smelling the brakes, and that's pretty much the best you can do, for a DIY job. And then go for a cool down drive, and that should be it. That's how you do brakes on a 08 Kia Rio. I'm going to turn this way so the sun's not in your eyes. But thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you later.